Okay, so welcome to the Berthon podcast. I'm here with Andrew Fairbrass from Berthon Spain, and we're just going to rattle through our market insights for October 2025. So in October, it's the month of the Annapolis Boat Show, and the team from Berthon USA were back from the show. And of course, we write these insights after we've all sat around and talked about boats and talked about the market, and we've got an idea of where we think we are for the month. The first point for these insights is about boat shows. We've done Cannes, we've done Op at Vav. Southampton Boat Show has been and gone. The autumn boat shows are now finishing. Then there'll be Flibs, and then the run up to Düsseldorf in the new year. It's our view that the day of the boat show is waning. There are more localised events these days for new yachts. And of course, online information is very much at the fore. Yacht buyers are viewing, assessing and taking decisions, and in most cases this is done outside the boat show environment. That's not to say that we don't have yacht buyers, but there's a whole other thing happening around that. The autumn boat shows have been busy with exhibition halls and docks full of people, but of course the exhibition managers, they need gate. So we saw an awful lot of tourists, and the number of actual yacht buyers for the autumn season, I think it's fair to say, was less exciting than we would have hoped for. Do you think, is that your view, Andrew?
Yeah, I completely agree. And boat shows play their part. Custom boats that people might not necessarily know of. I think it's a really useful exercise to show other brokers and to show potential clients what the boat is all about.
Oh, so you're thinking of the Palmer Boat Show, which of course is the super yacht show, the second hand rather than the new boat offering.
Yeah, of course there is a big difference. I think that still plays a big part. In terms of new boat shows, at the moment the market is difficult.
Yes, no, I think you are right. I mean, they are an incredible bazaar, aren't they? And it is the opportunity to get on and off boats that otherwise you might not see. And seeing a boat online, as we all know, is never as good as actually being on her live. I don't know. It's something about it's something about spatially. However much there's clever ways online of putting yourself inside a boat, it's not the same as being there. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I completely agree. And I do get your point about the fact that we're inundated with a lot of tourists at boat shows. But those tourists one day might become buyers. And I think it's the dance that us brokers have just got to do.
Yeah, no, that's very sensible. So the one thing that we are seeing at the new boat shows in the market is that multi-hulls are hot. Production multi-hulls with chartered deals attractive to them. There's a lot of that in the States and to an extent here in Europe as well. And we're seeing some of that in monohulls as well. But I think what's exciting for us is seeing these semi-custom, well-designed, high-quality multi-hulls, often with high-tech construction, so they're fast, they offer performance, quality build, comfort, endurance, they are proper blue water yachts, and most importantly, they really look nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big convert to multi-hulls, and I never thought, 10 years ago, I wouldn't have said that when we're kind of looking at the sort of cheaper mass-produced brands. But they've come a long way. The quality's really there now. And speed is a big factor for me, especially, on the longer passages crossing oceans. If you can shave a that's a big deal.
Oh, it's hugely impactful.
Yeah, and when you get there, they're more like an apartment by the sea. Than sort of kind of living in a sort of a monohull cave. I think it's just so much more comfortable. So certainly for me in future, when Ron and I want to sort of sail around the world when we're old and grey.
Well, not just yet.
Not yet. I really would consider a multi-hull now because I don't want to spend 3 weeks crossing the Atlantic. I've done that. And, I think the quicker you can do that and the more comfort you can do it in, the better.
And so just to explain to everybody who doesn't know, we have a big service operation in Palma, and that's one of the things that you do. We've done quite a lot with multi-hull refit, haven't we? And you've actually done quite a bit of sailing on those boats.
I've done a lot recently with Gunboat, and they're very impressive. We've done a lot with Uxrama, Sunreef, and now we're sort of just starting conversations with Kinetic, which I think is a really exciting brand. So I've done a lot of sailing, and with the family recently, we did a sort of couple of day trip on an Uxrama, and it was quite lumpy. And had we been on a monohull, I think I would have been turning back. But in a multi-hull, it just gets a bit more stable, and we were a bit quicker.
And what about the motion when you were at sea? Because a lot of people say that multi-hulls are very uncomfortable at sea.
I don't get that at all. They're different, of course. So and I think that's probably what people probably what they feel is that the motion is slightly different. But you sway around a lot less, and so you can make dinner and you can make a cup of tea without it all going down your front.
Yeah. So the kids just translated to that. They weren't worried about that.
Yeah, they were really good actually. Yeah, I think my youngest sort of after about 6 hours asked when we were going to stop for dinner. So we had to explain that there weren't any service stations, but. No, actually, the kids are great, and I've done a lot of sailing with the kids, and when it gets lumpy, they do often get a bit sick. But on this, they were great. They just had dinner and all went to sleep.
Fantastic! That's absolutely great. So, I think we can all agree that new yacht sales are quite challenging. For the States, Catalina announced that they were suspending all future production until they got their act together. I think that we're going to see more announcements of this kind in 2026. It's a shame, it's part of the cycle, but I think that those people who are building stuff which people want will still go through, albeit the delta between brokerage and new is quite wide because of material costs and labour costs, which are sort of shot up, and we're seeing that across the piece as far as costs are concerned. And the production yacht and motor yacht builders are struggling to reduce their stock levels. So that's a little bit of a worry as we approach a new calendar year, because of course as soon as we get over Christmas and the new year, those stock boats become a year older. So we'll just see how impactful that will be, and I think it might mean that they are continuing to hold back on their new build construction until they've kind of caught up a bit. So the service and refit operation in Palma that I mentioned a moment ago, which you're in charge of, has a full order book into 26, mainly from yachts of 100 feet and upwards. Refits in the 60 to 100 foot segment is sluggish, not helped by the Palma berthing prices. Can we just unpack that a bit? The cost of berthing in Palma went through the roof probably about a year ago, but it is actually now really coming down, and there's deals to be had. If you make an inquiry, the first price you get back will be ridiculous. Oh, you just have to persevere.
Well, we just do it for all of our customers. We charge for it. It's just sort of part of the thing that we need to encourage people to come to Palma, and so we do that, negotiating berthing prices. But one of the marinas, there was a 50% discount to be had. Especially this time of year, they don't want empty berths throughout the winter, and they've learnt their lesson. And it seems to be this cycle that we just go through. Having spoken to our colleague Simon Turner, who's been here for a lot longer than I have, I think that they put their prices up. Everyone left overnight and fled to the mainland, but now the mainland prices are going up.
Well, you can see that's happening really very quickly. Places on the mainland which were 25% the price of Palma are now 70% the price of Palma. And so it's all in a big cycle, and we've seen a lot of our brokerage yachts go to Valencia or Badalona, that Barcelona area, and so on and so on. So do you think that for next season we might start to see boats sliding back into Palma?
I think so. Palma has the infrastructure. STP has just got a huge amount bigger. They've just expanded enormously. And they've still got some spots left for the winter, which this time of year is unheard of. And there's all the companies, there's all the sort of people like me that are ex-yacht crew that have retired from, going to sea all the time and set up businesses. And that makes it attractive for sort of high-value boats that need the expertise. You can go to Barcelona, but there aren't as many companies there. And a lot of the companies that are there come from
Palma. But the reality is that the refit that you're doing is on the bigger boats these days for this winter.
This winter, we've got a catamaran in for a pre-Caribbean refit, but most of our stuff is on the chunkier
Well, I guess
stuff.
that's because it's booked before the prices started to come down.
Yeah, and the big boats have yacht managers, and they've got big negotiating power. These conversations probably all would have happened in April at the latest as to where they were going to be for the winter or where they're going to be pre-Caribbean.
And on the berthing, are they prepared to give you a berth sort of a year out, or are they just looking at wintertime contracts?
No, you can book for a year, for sure, and you'll get a better deal if you book for a year. And you just have to sort of play each marina off against each other, I'm afraid, and just get the best price.
And can you just also tell us a little bit about all this work that's been going on in the Paseo, which sort of winds around the marinas in Palma, and the pedestrianisation and Club de Mar being redeveloped and so on. Probably boring for those people who don't know Palma, but every time I sort of go there, it's more confusing. Are we getting through all that? Is Club de Mar nearly open? What's it all looking like?
Yeah, we're kind of 95%. Well, the Paseo is done. Club de Mar is sort of 90% done. And actually, it looks, to their credit, we've all spent the last 2 years whinging about it, but to their credit, they've done a really good job. It's really beautiful. It is a really nice place to be. It has always been, but they have improved that. It's a lot easier now to sort of wander from your boat down to the restaurants. It's a great place to be. They were trying to make it all more attractive to tourists. I think they've succeeded in that.
Yeah, because it's certainly, I've noticed that, as you kind of go through the builders and everything else, you can see all the greenery and you can see the nice places to sit, and it's less of a motorway and more of a place which is an event. It's more of a destination in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's great. So the next point that we all came up with in the international meeting is levels of buyer remorse, which are elevated at the moment. And we're seeing some buyers retrench at the last moment because they're not quite sure what's been going on here. If I've had one email talking about the 26th of November from English clients, I've had sort of 10 of them as we wait to see what Ms. Reeves has planned for us. But I think on a wider basis, there is a little bit of uncertainty, but the market is still busy. And I think it's probably our job as brokers to make sure that people really do have all the information and do feel comfortable about the steps that they're taking. So that's something that we're hoping is not going to be a longer term trend, but it's for sure there at the moment. And the other thing that we're seeing is that some buyers are thinking that if they hold now, when the snow is on the ground, when things have done their worst in the economy and so on, that prices of yachts is going to fall dramatically, and then they'll get that amazing deal, like the big fish that got away, and they'll buy for half price and all the rest of it. We don't think that's going to happen, because the delta between new and second-hand is so large, and people who are trading boats, they're not doing so because they're short of money. They're doing so because they want to come out to do other things, or they want to buy another boat, or whatever it is. So there comes a point at which they're going to say, well, do you know what, my boat's worth more to me than that. And we have seen a slight fall in pricing, but nothing, that's concerning, just the normal sort of depreciation that we'd normally expect to see. And we are not expecting a fire sale situation with people nipping in and buying boats for practically nothing. I mean, would you agree with that, Andrew?
Yeah, and I think, the thing that I always sort of remember is that people always want to go sailing. They want to go yachting. And if you've kind of had that dream, as many of our clients have, of, owning a boat, and you've worked really hard for it, they still want to buy, whether it's, a good time or a bad time, whether prices are a little bit higher or a little bit lower, that dream's still there. And, time is often the thing that they're short of. So, if you've got that dream and you want to do it, then you've got to do it now, before you run out of time.
Yeah, and for sure, that doesn't prevent you sort of looking for the best deal. But I do agree, because, sometimes yacht owners will say, well, what's the best time to sell? And, of course, any time when you have the boat totally up together and all the information, everything is a good time to sell, because the buyer, it won't be about, well, it's nearly March, so I want to be in the water by May. I mean, in very few cases it might be, but it's more, okay, the kids are going off to university, so we're going to go sailing, or, we've sold this, or I'm retiring, I'm stepping down at the end of the year and I want to go and do this. And so the reason for purchase is much more life orientated than seasonal, or I'm going to buy this because it's so cheap. I mean, there's a little bit of that, but I think those guys probably are going to be a bit disappointed.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
So that's that unpacked, and so we're looking forward to November, December, and then it will be the end of 2025 already. As I get even more ancient, the months just shoot by. And thanks, Andrew, so much for being in on this, and we'll be publishing it this week. Thanks.